People are saying Alycia Baumgardener, who's fighting this Friday on the Jake Paul Anthony Joshua undercard as a co-main, they're saying she is underestimating her opponent from Canada, last name Beaudoin. I'm probably butchering her name, but she's saying she is underestimating her, and this is why. A lot of people believe Alycia Baumgardener is going to win. And you can understand why. They don't really know the Canadian fighter. But I am telling you the Canadian fighter can fight. I'm not saying she's going to beat Alycia. I'm just telling you the Canadian fighter can fight. But this is the thing they keep saying. Alycia is talking too much trash. And right then it got my attention. I'm like, what's the problem? What's the problem if she's talking trash? So I went and I watched the MVP face-off. She not cussing, she not calling her out of name. She just talking about putting belt to ass and stuff like that. And she's selling the fight. But some people believe there's a false sense of confidence there. And I said, well, explain. And they're like, oh, well, Derrick James in the big fight for Errol Spence against Crawford, Errol Spence lost. Ryan Garcia, when he fought Devin Haney, we thought he looked good, but then he was on peds. They said then you had Jermell Charlo in a big fight with Canelo, he lost. They're like, so when you look at her training with Derrick James now, she's talking all this talk, but the reality is when Derrick James has been in the biggest of fights, his fighters came up short. Now to that I said, in the most respectful way, I said, hey, yo, hold your horses. Stop taking it to the stupid. How dare you cast that wicked sorcery on Alycia Baumgardener? Talking about Derrick James and who he trained, the men fighters and the male fighters and how they perform. Get out of here with that bullshit. This is not the same situation. Derrick James is a brilliant trainer. You can't come look at the fighters he trained, and then they brought up Frank Martin against Gervonta Davis, and then all of a sudden say, because they took losses, Alicia's going to take a loss because she's on the biggest stage of her career, and she's going to come up short because she's underestimating this opponent. How about all the other fights that Derrick James won with his fighters? How about all the things that his fighters accomplished? At one point in time, they felt like Derrick James was the best trainer in boxing, the way he had Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo looking, and Frank Martin as well. So, yo, get out of here with the bull crap. Who wins between Baumgardener and the Canadian? I don't know. I'm telling you I don't know. I'm telling you that's a good fight. Just tune in. That's all I'm going to say.